Exciting boxing for you this afternoon, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And remember, in future, anything to do with boxing, blow by blow. Welcome to ringside here at the Nasric Arena for this World Championship fight between Ledwaba, defending for the first time against an Italian challenger. He is Gian Petriccioli. And we're waiting for the fighters to come to the ring. At the moment, they're the usual introductions that you get before these World Championship fights. And with me at ringside is Dan Satedi.
Thank you very much, Bet. We really hope to see lots and lots of great fights in the new edition, as you put it rightly so, of blow by blow. Really, amukala amaruri mo ya nka ya tournament tse ka bo di tlhakanela mo lenano le lentshwaleno la blow by blow.
Well, very aptly named, I think, and we're going to see a lot of blow by blows very shortly as soon as these men come to the ring. A very interesting contest, actually, because whilst the Italian is not regarded as a heavy hitter, he does have boxing skills, well schooled, I understand. And of course, his father, Giorgio Petriccioli, was for many years the trainer of the Italian Olympic squad. So he gave that up. He actually resigned from the squad in order to train his son. His son lost his first 2 professional fights when he wasn't under the trainership of his father, and since then he's unbeaten. So I think it says a lot for the challenger. As for Ledwaba, we know that he hits very hard indeed. In fact, that's why they call him Hands of Stone, because he does hit very hard. But I have a suspicion he's not a natural bantamweight, Dan. I feel he's a junior feather.
Well, one of the things that actually his name, Lehlo, actually means luck. Quel seko le na la msibanono me re go le jalo ba le bantsi ba tla lemoga gore mo dintweng tsa gagwe tsa diloleng di le 12 offense di le 12 a latlhegelwa e le AC engwe ya nna maleka me gompieno re ya go bona monna re monang ka mo gare ga lebala fano e le Mr. Gary wa tswang kwa Florida e le nyena referee ya letsatsi la gompieno.
A good crowd here this afternoon for this championship fight. Ledwaba, a very popular young man. And still waiting for the fighters to come to the ring. You get this sort of situations, particularly in world championship fights. The referee is in the ring. He is Brian Gary of the United States. We see one of the supporters in traditional dress on your screen at the moment. And there's the World Boxing Union Championship belt, a handsome belt. Quite a few of these belts around nowadays. In fact, the World Boxing Union actually sanctioned 50 World Championship fights in 1996. That's something of a record. They were the second most active boxing controlling body in the world last year.
Lelitseng ele tota me promotera Mike Siegel Promotions anele babamba tsile ba itletse ba bangwe ba letsatsi la gompieno.
Traditional dancers, the taste of Africa as per usual here at Nasric this afternoon. Let's get our boxers into the ring for this afternoon's main event, the World Boxing Union Bantamweight Championship of the World.
Yes, well, it's the World Boxing Union Championship fight for the Bantamweight title. Ledwaba of South Africa defending against Gian Petriccioli of Italy. And
This world-class action is brought to you by Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
Well, we're back live here at the Nasric Arena. And you might see on your screen, left-hand side, Petriccioli has already entered the ring. We're going to have a look at the tail of the tape. There it is.
Okay, come on, Ledwaba. Dingwaha 25, Bukete 53.25, Bohodimo 1.66 meters, Me Bule Basiata 1.65 Rich.
And ladies and gentlemen,
There's a challenger, Petriccioli.
champion of the world, Lehlo.
Very competent young man. And here comes the world champion, Ledwaba. Let's have a look at the rules for this contest. Well, it's a WBU championship fight. There's a mandatory 8 count. In effect, 3 knockdown rule in a round does not apply in this championship fight. A contestant may not be saved by the bell in a knockdown, and the referee is non-scoring. No standing 8 count is permitted.
Gian me lao elenteng area World Boxing Union me ko thakala le kawana le thakonono Hands of Stone Ledwaba wanza bathakela mona kunyeno o sirela ta thakela ka wela nka kano le kawana leno mona white rengalina Gian Petriccioli.
A very modest young champion is Lehlo Ledwaba, but a very determined one indeed. He also holds the South African junior featherweight title, and regardless of what happens here this afternoon, he will be defending that title on May the 4th. Well, both boxers in the ring now. Let's have a look at the officials controlling this fight. The commissioner, of course, is Morris Owen. He represents the WBU in South Africa. Brian Gary is the referee. Johnny Vermeer of the USA is a judge. So is Dave Paris of the UK. And Daryl Ribbink of South Africa makes up the 3 officials for the fight.
Trevor Kramer.
Welcome to the Nasrec Arena in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's time to get down to the real business of world title action. 12 rounds of scheduled boxing for the World Boxing Union Bantamweight Championship of the World. It's brought to you on SABC Top Sport with pride by Mike Siegel Productions in association with Mercantile Savings and Loan and Gantz Foods. We'd also like to welcome our viewers on RAI Television and ESPN in the United States of America. This fight is sanctioned by the South African National Boxing Commission, Chairman Dr. Peter Katane, and Executive Director Mr. Stan Christodoulou, and also the World Boxing Union, the WBU representative for Africa, and today's fight supervisor, Mr. Morris Owen. Introducing the principals to you. He'll come out fighting from the red corner, wearing the green and black trunks. He carded a fighting weight of 53 kilograms even, and he sports a ring record of 14 contests, 9 victories, 2 defeats, and 3 draws. Introducing the challenger from Italy, Gian Maria Petriccioli. His opponent, he'll answer the bell from the blue corner. He's wearing the navy and white trunks. He tipped the scales at 53.50 kilograms, unbeaten as a professional, with 21 contests, 20 wins, and a draw. The reigning WBU Bantamweight Champion of the world from South Africa, Lehlo, Hands of Stone, Ledwaba. Introducing your officials for today's bout. Your judges from the United States, Mr. Johnny Vermeer. Mr. Dave Paris from South.
I'll be in charge of the bout at all times. When I give you a command to break, break cleanly. If you score a knockdown, go to the neutral corner. Do not come out until I signal you. Avoid the use of your head as a weapon. No kidney punches, no low blows. I want you to shake hands, protect yourself at all times. Good luck.
Well, referee Brian Gary wasted no time in calling the men to the center of the ring and gave the instructions. Yes. Well, round one coming up of this World Championship fight. Bantamweight title at stake for the WBU. Here's your challenger, Petriccioli from Italy. He's the Bantamweight champion of Italy, and he's up against South Africa's Ledwaba. Now, there's no question, there's no hiding the fact that Ledwaba did have problems coming down to bantamweight. And a big question mark, I think, is going to be whether the dehydration caused by making the weight will affect him in the later rounds. It appeared to in his title-winning effort against Cruz Carbajal. That was in November, but he came through and won that in any event, and perhaps he learned a lesson from that. Ledwaba digging a left to the body, Dan.
Yes, Brett. One of the things that one observes is that usually the first round is a feeler round, and both boxers are just trying to feel one another.
Petriccioli's had a lot of problems with his hands. He's not regarded as a heavy puncher. He broke the bone in one of the hands, and he's only scored 2 wins inside the distance in his career as a professional. That'll tell you that he is essentially a boxer. Ledwaba, on the other hand, well, the nickname Hands of Stone should tell you everything. He can really bang, and once he gets his punches on target, well, Mr. Petriccioli had better beware.
Se se itumedisang ke go lemoga le kaona la Afrika Borwa le tlhogonolo Ledwaba a simolola go ya kwa mmeleng se tota ba le bantsi ba sa se rateng. Like I said, most boxers will always go head hunting, but to see the South African champion and the world champion, Lehlo, actually goes more to the body.
He has very good tactics indeed, Dan. He obviously wants to try and take the legs away from Petriccioli as this fight goes. And every now and then you see him digging that right to the short ribs. Very good strategy indeed.
Senera se talosa sa equipa mo nakong eno. Make mo Brian Gary wa mo talosa sa Rasidirisi mabole a sa lekelelwang me uya polo bontsi wa di kupon tsa le kaona leno Gian Petriccioli.
Well, Ledwaba has wasted no time in picking up his work rate here in round one. This has been a good round for him so far. Tries an uppercut, didn't quite land. It grazed the nose of Petriccioli. But this Italian challenger knows that he's in with a good champion.
Those lefts get there with some sickening monotony. And he's actually using that lovely jab that is so well known for.
Beautiful combination from Ledwaba. Boxing from behind that jab. An immaculate punch from the South African. And then banging home the right to the jaw.
Gian, the trusted household name.
Sports Buzz, the way to go.
For total rad team sport junkies, resort to
Sports Buzz.
Join our fabulous, hippest, craziest bunch as we bring you a multitude of youth sport and focus on our own rising stars from all walks of life. Sports Buzz is coming at you on Fridays on SABC2, starting Friday the 14th of March at 5.
Sports Buzz, the way to go.
That's a replay from the opening round of this championship fight. A good round for Ledwaba, and you can see why. Working from behind that left jab and banging home the right at every opportunity. Round 2, scheduled for 12. At stake, the World Boxing Union Bantamweight Championship of the world. Petriccioli is going to have to find a way to get beneath that left jab of Ledwaba. It's unsettling the challenger, and then first Ledwaba tried a right uppercut. That didn't quite land. Hasn't quite got that punch working for him yet. But there's a nice variety of blows coming from the champion. And that time, yes, it did get through.
Yaka beta talo samana kung kumanala kwantala pilay le korele kawana lele mukwetli habo yi mele kale ka tsena o amogela mabule a thata le tota mo le kawana leno wa itsegeng ka leina la Hands of Stone gore tota di aka tse di dirilweng ka leihwe le le thata le bobedi ba bona tikologo ya bobedi e baletsweng tikologo di le lesome le bobedi go baka title ya lefatshe e tshwareng ke letlhogonolo ya WBU World Boxing Union.
This has been another good round for Ledwaba, working well from behind that left jab, keeping Petriccioli preoccupied with defense and on the end of the punch most of the time. Challenger hasn't had many opportunities to let his own punches go. Somehow he's going to have to find a way of slipping beneath the jab to getting on the inside, because quite clearly that's where he needs to be. Ledwaba looking very good indeed. Sharpshooting with the left. Following up with the right hand at every opportunity. Mixing up his punches well here in round two.
Watch your head, Led. Watch your head.
You might have heard that warning from referee Brian Gary. Watch your head. And it was directed mainly at Petriccioli.
Eramoto libilen to itshwana le ye motho ya bobedi o lemoga ka mkho makawanano a retsang se ba se boleletswe mo dikhutlong tsa bone se go le bogolo jang le tlhogonolo wa Ledwaba me a dirisa e maitemogelo ke bo Brian Gary wa ba khalemela makawanano gore ba se ke ba tshwarana selabe se se leng teng fela sa lekawana le tlhogonolo ke go latlhegelwa kgatlanong le Joseph Ramaswe July 24, 1993.
Gans, the trusted household name.
This is the home of Viceroy Brandy. Here in our cellar, Viceroy Old Liqueur Brandy is brought to perfection through the gentle art of maturation to give you one of the world's great tastes. Superbly matured brandy. Viceroy.
A couple of good rounds for Ledwaba so far. Here we are, the start of round 3, scheduled for 12. Oh, beautiful left from the champion. Really sharp shooting with that punch here this afternoon is Ledwaba. Looking very good indeed. Petriccioli's hardly had an opportunity to let his punches go. He's trying to do that now, but they're falling short. Needs to close the gap between the champion and himself.
I do agree with you on that one, Bet. And if he doesn't do that, at least he stands a very chance of really getting it from within.
Yes, as long as he's on the outside, Dan, he's going to get picked off. Ledwaba sharp shooting beautifully, keeping him on the end of that punch and using the left jab to open up Petriccioli for the right hand. Oh, what a good one that was. That really knocked back Petriccioli's head. Ledwaba beginning to put more power behind these punches here in the third.
Right.
Zabatlagela Jaka Gary our tlhalosa Brian Gary referee le re ga ba lebile bobedi ba basimane bontsha ga tshweni kwa ntala pelae Mrs. Steng ke pharologano le motswako o itumedisang wa mabole yang kwa mmeleng le mabula yang kwa tlhogong Mrs. Steng mabula yang kwa mmeleng a khona go ka gamula matla a motho me a ba dira gore motho a kgone go ka bona sebaka sa go ntsha lebole la ntshetseng.
Ledwaba taking a breather here. He's on the back foot, slipping away from Petriccioli, every opportunity. But Petriccioli hasn't been able to do much about it. Hasn't been able to take real advantage. Good right hand from the champion, but I think Petriccioli took that on the glove. Oh, that's a terrific left hook from Ledwaba.
Punches up.
When Ledwaba shoots out the left jab, he can hardly miss.
Your hands are free, you can work. You can work. Work your hands. Turn!
Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
Labone mo kanaleng ya bobedi.
Next time, o bolele sware se sa gago se gore se tlogela go tla bogolela mo ntlung e ya mmele.
You will never be wise, my boy, if you don't listen to this old man. Gona ya no go ganne go tsamaya le malomago go a go batla rrago.
Ditaulo tsa eng? Sis, nna ga ke na bo re ba bang. Reke mahumo ga go poyo mo.
Pakatsi e se yo magotlo a ipusa. Ga bo se gangwe ka labone maitsi bua nako ile 13 moraga ura ya bosupa.
Replay from round 3. Another good round for the champion. Using that left hand very effectively indeed. And then banging the right to the body.
Tikilo ya bone simulula basimane ba le ka mogare ga lebala. Tota re ka re Mosako. Be re ga ba le yalo bobedi ba bone lebelo le le gakgamatsang la ntwa pace ya ntwa e itumedisa maru. Be le gale o bonala kwa ntle le pelaelo gore monona wa Motariana wa ikalela mme o amogela go le go ntsi segolo thata go ya kwa mpeng.
Ledwaba banging home that left to the head. Lots of power behind the punch. A solid blow. I'll tell you what, Petriccioli is going to have a headache tonight. And still the challenger finding it difficult to get to grips with the champion. Ledwaba keeping him on the outside, stabbing him with the jab, threading his guard with that punch. Almost effortless the way he throws the jab.
One of the great things that one observes with the two young fighters is the standard of fitness of both boxers. You could see they've really been prepared for this encounter.
Yes, well, you would expect that, Dan, because Petriccioli trained by his father, Giorgio, who in fact trained the Olympic boxing squad. And Ledwaba is trained by David Kotsani, who in fact received a special award last year for his contribution to South African professional boxing.
Oh, that's Kotsani, that's right in his corner too.
Now this must be a real problem for Petriccioli because he's got to figure out a way of getting on the inside. He hasn't been able to do it yet. And here we are in round 4, scheduled for 12. But in fact, he switched to southpaw stance, you might notice, probably to try and unsettle Ledwaba.
Mere Hadira Yalo Dene, Uitatella Mabule, the Kawana Leno, La Jean Maria Petriccioli, Mere Hadira Yalo, the Ledwaba, Unsamu Dibile, Hadira Petoro, Yagotswa Mo Mukwa Oru Fighting Wa Hola, Koyahomuka, wa unorthodox, Omorona, or Tatang, ka moja me o tatao tlhotlang ka moja o bitsa ka molene Tarana me Brian Gary gets them off bed.
Yes, I've been looking very closely at Petriccioli boxing out of the southpaw stance. Can't say that I see anything better by him doing that. I realize he's trying to unsettle Ledwaba, but hasn't quite worked for him yet. Well, he's managing to land a couple of very good left hooks as he gets up close out of the southpaw stance. Perhaps that's what his intentions are.
Work your way out. Work your way out of there.
That's a plan that Giorgio might be thinking to implement and perhaps to good use.
Yes, well, it did work for him in a couple of exchanges, Dan.
Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
When the television and video industry get together to salute their best creative talents, then the stars come out to play. The Avanti Awards, SABC2 at 9:45 Wednesday evening on the 12th of March. Don't miss it.
There's some replay from the fourth round. This is the round in which Petriccioli switched to southpaw stance, and he did show some benefits by doing that, particularly by banging home the left hook. So let's see if he can try and turn this fight around here in the fifth.
Tigiloi Yabakano Simuloi Vela Yalo Kota Kolagabedi Kutsaho, the town of Ledwaba. Tatakole Yakaho AC in Nilakatalika Lakuta Joseph Ramaswe, Otota Adiram Mabula Kawemo Holding the Kawana Joseph Ramaswe, Ka 24th of July 1993, Fana Bates and the Kawanolo Ka Tetonke Ya KO Motikum Yabubi. Be Alohapali Karjalo Ka Waha 1991, Falwale Andrew Nemikeka or Holding. Whenever never about me, fell about never train on the Togonol. Make I stand on Yalo, Utolete, Fenya, Adinka, Lofenya, in Teton. Tries to come up almost round number 5. You could see the pace seems to steady a little bit, Beth.
Yes, Petriccioli doing a lot better here in the fifth than he's done in the earlier rounds. Boxing as the southpaw has certainly added to him. He slipped and that was no knockdown, that was a slip. But he's looking a lot better out of that right foot forward stance. And I dare say his father has advised him to do this, to try and unsettle Ledwaba, who's not quite as sharp now as he was in the first three rounds.
Yes, the change of tactics there might have just done that, and quite a number of punches are coming through from Petriccioli into Ledwaba's face, Bert.
Yes, and also, Dan, he's backing up Ledwaba all the time. That's something he wasn't doing earlier. It was Ledwaba who was controlling virtually the center of the ring. Now Ledwaba's backing away. And there's certainly a change in this fight, no question about it. Ledwaba remembers that he's very effective with body blows, and he's dug a few to the challenger's body. But still, Petriccioli keeps coming forward.
That's one plus factor about the Italian. Actually coming forward to prove that as a challenger, you really must go to the champion because you need the title.
Well, that's true, Dan. There's an old saying that if you want the title, you've got to come and take it. And he's doing that. He's coming forward, as you say, and looking much better for it.
Me munamutariana lena uafera jalo wa ikravela sintele tota le kare le kawana leno ke challenger rakana mukweti wa maemo.
Watch ahead.
Gian, the trusted household name.
I'm cooking with gas cause it's so fast. Hey, blah, don't mess with that. Get cooking with gas.
Now I'm cooking with gas cause it's simple and safe.
Hey, mama, don't mess with that. Get cooking with gas.
I'm cooking with gas cause it's so handy and affordable.
We're cooking with gas cause it's so clean.
I see you've been cooking with gas.
Cause it's so great.
That's on replay from the 5th round, which actually I thought was a very good round for Petriccioli. And you can see why. Oh, that's the slip. That wasn't a knockdown, by the way. Now, this young man looking very good in round 5. By switching to southpaw stance, he's made a change for the better for himself. There we are in round 6, a halfway mark. And still it's Petriccioli boxing up that southpaw stance. And Ledwaba surprisingly being backed up. I'm surprised about that, Dan, because he is, after all, the champion. And I would have thought he'd try and control the fight.
Exactly, and it is the Italian who's actually coming in. He's putting the onslaught and to make Ledwaba to really backtrack.
Well, Ledwaba, who looks so very sharp in the early rounds, still connecting, but not with that same sharpness that we saw earlier. He looks to be a little unsettled, and perhaps one of the reasons is because he's backing away all the time instead of coming forward.
Charagape Kamukare, Toyabokareng, Kawana Brian Gary, Toa 8 to Medicine, Pancarapilano, Harakama, Kawana Mabedi. Get up, get up. Kalimena Mona Udrisa Chavana, Sanakudi Yano. Wonderful toe to toe, eh?
Very good exchanges, Dan. Both very willing boxers. And must say I've got new admiration now for Petriccioli. He's done very well in the last 2 rounds. And at the back of my mind also is whether the weight reducing is going to take its toll on Ledwaba in the late rounds of this fight.
You talked about that dehydration. I think it goes a very long way, you're right, from a lower division and getting up to this division that he's in. Took quite a lot of strength out of him.
Well, there's no question he battled to make the bantamweight limit. There's no question about that. It must have an effect. I can't see how it would not. And that's what bothered him in the fight with Carbajal last November. Hopefully it won't happen again here this afternoon.
Watch your head.
But Petriccioli staying right on top of the champion now and exchanging blow for blow with Ledwaba.
Repeatela Rele Bukharing, Bantua Eno, round number 6, halfway through 12 rounds. Be Babana Kore, Amutswara Sinteletota, Be Muna Otata, this fellow is very tough. There he goes.
First the right hand, then the left hook. And Petriccioli down on the canvas.
6, 7, 8. You're all right, son? Get your hands up. Walk toward me.
Down for a count of 8. Can Ledwaba finish it? The bell rings. Now that really is a case of being saved by the bell.
Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
Livela SABC2 ka Laubini ka 6:30. Utlabona lenaneo la Let's Shop. Lenaneo le tlankamata le moshito. Let's Shop e etetse di boagomo. Seshehu Mahwilereng, Twano le Gian. E batla di contestants tsa ora loka le rona. O se ka wa fitwa ka Laubini. Livela bareki ba matla ba Northern Province.
Let's take another look at the punches that almost caused Ledwaba to end this fight a knockout. Good left hook. That took the legs away from Petriccioli.
We have some of this. Some of this work.
scheduled for 12. Petriccioli in loads of trouble as we came to the bell at the end of the 6th. And now Ledwaba looking for a knockout. Suddenly that left jab is streaking through the guard of the Italian like we did in the earlier rounds. No question about it. Ledwaba encouraged by what happened in the final seconds of round 6. Only the bell saved Petriccioli, Dan.
I must say that you're right, Beth. And one of the things that one cannot take away from the brave Italian is his great strength. Even if he went down, but you could see he still has lots of it, and he came up.
Yes, he's got a big heart, lots of strength, a good chin. But those punches from Ledwaba were really perfect shots. And still, it's Petriccioli fighting out of the southpaw stance. And yet it was the left that put him down towards the end of round 6.
Very Coleyalo, Wunda, I Telefazzi, Petriccioli, Kumanala, I get Munakungeno hands of stone, the Kakonono, Ledwaba. Yanzali Kasbaka Sasinke, Motico Ene Yabuchupa, Yantwa, it's Antico Dile, Le Sume, Lebubit.
Well, Ledwaba has gone back to sharpshooting and doing a pretty good job of it as well. Picking off Petriccioli from a distance. And hardly missed with that left jab. And all the time looking for the chance to unload the right.
You watch him again, he's a little unsteady, Petriccioli. Certain times when he throws in a punch, his legs don't carry him as they really should.
Yes, well, he has been hurt, no question about it. And if the bell hadn't come to his rescue at the end of the 6th, I dare say this fight would have already been over. He's working from the outside, staying on the outside really, making little attempt to get in up close. And there, Ledwaba picks him off with a right to the door. And a right uppercut.
Watch your hits.
Good solid punches from Ledwaba as we wind down yet another round.
Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
There's some replay for you. Ledwaba setting himself to fire the jab. Then goes the right uppercut. What a terrific combination from the champion.
Round 8 ke gore ia ka re dikotara di le tharo tsa ntwa mo nakong le mo go yona mme ke tsimega wa simololang ka di champion di le pedi fela tse dingwe wa sefatlhegong sa Petriccioli le bile basimane ntwa ene ke ya go baka title ya World Boxing Union simega fano ya bantam kene le Kagonolo hands of stone ka ona leno le ka ba relela mo tsetsemetsi ya le mantsi le tota wa gape Abula tata ito. May kwema ka. Mutata baka ko le na ka wala le no misa. Wala yang kwamping. Kwam miling. Pizza kami ufosa Gian. That part a number of wonderful 1-2s are coming, but he still replies also.
Yes, Petriccioli standing his ground here in the 8th. Standing up to Ledwaba. Trying to regain some of that control he had very briefly. I think it was in round 6. round 5 in fact. He lost that when he was knocked down in the 6th round. But he's trying to trade blow for blow with the champion. Ledwaba working from the outside, picking his shots carefully. That was a good left hook high on the side of the head. The challenger doesn't have the greatest defense. Ledwaba's had little trouble in threading it. But look at that fighting spirit from Petriccioli.
I should think so too, and some great timing from the champion also. Lovely way of timing this man. But he actually comes back again. That's very brave Italian.
Yes, it was a very good left hook from Petriccioli. Wants to let Ledwaba know he's still in this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please step back. Watch here.
Good right hand from Ledwaba.
Go hold him. Get off of him. Go hold him.
Petriccioli trying to work to the body. But the round is winding down.
Gans, the trusted household name.
There she is. Go ask her. No? And give her one of these. Cheese? Trust me on this one.
Hi, we're in the same class, and when I'm close to you, it gets hard to breathe. And, well, I'm not like the other guys.
Se blocchi i colpi, non li prendi in faccia, anche se fai più.
Replay from round 8. Yet another good round for Ledwaba. And there's the brave challenger on your screen, Petriccioli from Italy. Way behind on points on my card, and I dare say on the cards of the judges.
Not only on yours alone, mine also.
Well, I'm glad. That's reassuring, Dan. But of course, it's the judges' cards that count. And we've got one from the United Kingdom, one for the United States, and one from South Africa.
Well, Baird, it seems he has just been told that now, mind you, the rounds are going fast, and you better do something else, because this man is still right in the ring, when he thought by this time we would have been calling it quits.
Yes, well, Ledwaba almost ended this fight in the 6th. Bell coming to the rescue of Petriccioli. Yep, the Italian is still here at the start of the 9th. Fight is scheduled for 12. But I must say that Ledwaba has paced himself well. There hasn't been any suggestion of him tiring. So perhaps I was out of order when I said he might suffer dehydration from making weight. Looking very good in these late rounds.
It's wonderful pacing, I must say. He goes for his man and goes at the right time also. He doesn't just rush in.
Yes, and his timing is so excellent here this afternoon. It really is spot on.
And the gape go setse tikologo di le tharo mo sebaka seno lo lo tlhela mapone ke one a tota yaanong ge baatlhodi ba lebileng baatlhodi ba le bararo ba leng teng mona Femia Perez wa tswa kwa United Kingdom le Rebink wa South Africa ba tota ba lebileng gore a ntwa eno tsamaya ka tsela e tshwanetseng. The pace is slackened a little bit in the second stanza of the fight.
Yes, Dan. Very little happening insofar as Petriccioli is concerned. You notice he's throwing very few punches indeed. And Ledwaba picking his shots carefully now. He obviously doesn't want to punch himself out. There's always a danger of that.
Don't hold him, no. Don't hold him, man. Boxing.
Throws his punches at ease and at will, Bet.
Time.
Gans, the trusted household name.
There are many companies that can bring the 2004 Games to Cape Town. Only one can take them to the rest of the world. Telkom, proud supporter of the 2004 Cape Town bid.
Some replay from that 9th round. Another good round for Ledwaba. But he did pick his punches very carefully, and he quite clearly pacing himself. Very little coming back from Petriccioli. And with 3 rounds to go, we've got Ledwaba way ahead on points.
Good, gentlemen.
Start of round 10, scheduled for 12. Well, the only way that Petriccioli can win this fight, Dan, is by knockout. And since he's not a puncher, I don't think that's possible.
Now, you have observed from the stats that he's only had 2 fights that he won within the distance.
Ledwaba would have to do something foolish to lose this fight at this stage. And I don't think he's going to do it. He's just banged a good right to the head of Petriccioli.
He lured him into a trap, you could see that. And when he thought it was going easy, and all of a sudden there he comes. And there might have been a cut above the left eye bit.
I think that punch actually caused the cut, Dan, because I do see a trickle of blood coming from the left eye of Petriccioli. And it certainly wasn't a clash of heads. It was following that solid right to the side of the Italian's face. Good left hook from Ledwaba. Snap back the head of the challenger. And another right. Well, Ledwaba probably encouraged by the sight of the cut. Blood trickling down the face of Petriccioli. Referee Gary looking very closely at the cut as well. It appears to be on the brow.
Pull him around. Box him.
Potsego mo godimo ga leihlo la ga Petriccioli monna go tswa kwa Italy, mokgweetsi wa pele wa Hands of Stone Tronolo wa lenyana tshimego ya lefatshe ya WBU Boxing Union. Tsa kagala madi mo nakong eno mme tota ga mo lebile o rankile number 2 mo di bantamweight tsa South Africa, tshimega ele Petriccioli wa border Pambulele Botile ele IBF champion ele yana contender number 1 and I get contender number 2 le kaona leno la le hlogonolo wa Ledwaba. Olantla taking his time and his pace also bad.
Yes, indeed, Dan. This has been a superb exhibition of boxing by Ledwaba. He's handled things very well indeed. Every inch the champion, as they say. And very nearly a knockout winner in the 6th round when he quite clearly he dropped the Italian and hurt him badly. But the bell came to the rescue of Petriccioli. And since then, luck has been on his side to a certain extent. But he's miles behind on points.
Mercantile Savings and Loans. You can bank on our support.
Some cars beat the bends. Only one car beats the bridge. The new Daewoo Espero. More car for your money. And you really can't beat the Espero for value either. Now from just 72,550 Rand.
How you doing, Jimmy? Are you good?
Well, between rounds, referee Gary Whitten checked that cut in the corner of Petriccioli. He agreed with the cornerman that the cut was above the brow, not bleeding too badly. He said that's okay.
And there's some vocal support from Lehlo's quarter, and only 2 rounds to go, and they want him to finish it up perhaps in style.
Well, I can believe that. He nearly did in the 6th. He's peppering the face of the Italian with his punches here in the 11th. Placed himself beautifully, I must say. Quite clearly learnt a lesson from that fight with Carbajal when he ran into problems in the late round, middle rounds, late rounds.
Let's work, let's work. Let's work.
Petriccioli doing very little now. His work rate has dropped perceptibly. It was never very high, but he did have at least one good round, I thought. And that was the 5th. Then, of course, he ran into trouble in the 6th, and he's never been the same since.
This is actually a stroll in the park in this round, at the penultimate round, and they're actually trying to get themselves up perhaps for the final round.
Yes, that could well be. For Ledwaba, this really is a stroll in the park. Keeps peppering the face of Petriccioli with that left jab.
Se pensa di regala molti che lo vogliono ya lo semene bongwe lo sibane banza ba iketa bongwe go tla go lemoga gore tikologo ya lo semene pedi le bofelo ke yona ba tantshang ga tshwedi ka bona go diragala mo nakong ya khalimela mo nakong ya khalimela le konolo actually didn't observe that one event.
It appeared to be a clash of heads, and the referee was warning Ledwaba about that. For a moment, I thought he might even take a point away, but I don't think he did.
Best now. 3 minutes to go.
Once again, referee Brian Gary checking the corner of the challenger. Here's some replay from that last round. Very much a Ledwaba round, of course. And there's problems in the corner of the challenger that working on the cut eye, you can't quite see it, but they've done a very good repair job, I must say. And here we are, the 12th and final round of this World Championship fight. At stake, the World Boxing Union Bantamweight title of the world.
ke ka mo ya re tikilego ya bofelo le ya lesomepedi e simololang ka teng makawanano ya re ka kwantele pelaelo monna wa Ledwaba ka dintlha se tsa lekgakala e le tota se se teng jaaka Beta tlhalositse the only way that Petriccioli would actually come into this fight is by a stunning knockout.
Well, believe me, that would stun me, would stun everybody, probably even stun him, because he's only scored 2 stoppages in his whole career. This is unfortunately a feather-fisted boxer, a very accomplished boxer and a very well-schooled boxer, but unfortunate for him, he lacks firepower, and Ledwaba has taken full advantage of that. Well, Ledwaba knows he's well ahead on points. Not going to do anything silly here in the 12th and final round. Got everything under control. And whilst it would impress his supporters if he scored a knockout, I don't think we're going to see one, Dan.
I don't think so too. But he's throwing some lovely punches now, Bert. Wonderful punches, I must say. Oh my word. Bert, he just said it, and now he actually wants to end it up in style.
Well, the scourge of a commentator, you never say things like that. But anyway, that looked very good indeed from Ledwaba. Very good indeed. Knocked back Petriccioli's head, sent him bouncing into the ropes. But I get the impression this is going to go the distance. There's 1 minute 13 seconds. Well, just over a minute left. I think it'll go the distance, but still anything could happen.
Well, one thing that you say, actually, we have to respect the opinion of the producer. He has been a former featherweight champion himself, Kitchafel Piyake.
Yes, he should know what it's all about.
But I thought Jean Maria Petriccioli could have come in. He knew he's so much behind on points. He should have come in like a raging bull in the last round.
Yes, I think the problem, Dan, is that he knows his limitations. He hasn't got the firepower. And if he did come in very strongly like a raging bull, he may well have run into one of those big punches from Ledwaba and could have put him flat on his back, as it did in the 6th round. So it'll look good on the record that he went 12 rounds with the world champion, even though he lost.
Oh, well, but the couple of thousand people here have been given their money's worth, I must say, and they enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I don't think there's any question as to who's won this fight. We'll have to wait for the official decision and just see what the margins are from the 3 judges.
I think you're right. The margin, that's all there.
Gian, the trusted household name.
You can feel it.
Introducing the remarkable new Gillette Sensor Excel for women. Feel its specially shaped handle and its soft rubber grip that won't slip when wet.
Feel it.
Ahead of the blades are soft, flexible microfins to protect your skin while gently lifting stubborn hair, so the spring-mounted twin blades can give you our closest, safest shave ever.
You can feel it.
The new Sensor Excel for women.
Feel it.
Some replay from that last round, and it was still Ledwaba sharp shooting, going right down to the final bell. He really made an impression in this fight. Very little coming back from Petriccioli, as you can see, but the Italian showed a lot of courage. Very brave young man.
What he missed out in boxing skill, he made up in tons and tons of courage, I must say.
Certainly did, Dan. Good 1-2 from Ledwaba. And Now we're going to wait for the official decision, and I dare say the margin should be quite wide. Don't think there's any question as to who the winner is.
Gans, the trusted household name.
And now contestant number 7, Macatini.
Cadbury's lunch bar with nuts, toasty rice, caramel and wafer, all in Cadbury's dairy milk chocolate.
Did you see that, Jimmy?
You threw that miles away.
That's nothing. Watch this. Duck, fetch.
Welcome back to ringside, and I'd like to say a few words. Let's get the official decision from the ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, your judges have scored this bout as follows. Judge Femia scored the bout 120 to 107. Judge Paris scores the bout 120 to 107. And Judge Ribbing saw the fight 120 to 108. The winner by unanimous decision, and still World Boxing Union Bantamweight Champion of the world, Lehlo Hands of Stone, Ledwaba.
Well, there's the winner, a happy young man. Let's take a look at what's coming up next week in Blow by Blow. Lots of excitement for you. Some of the fights you didn't see today, we'll see next week, be screened on Blow by Blow.